Listen to me. Before you can ever talk about becoming the best version of yourself, you've got to start with the real question. Asterisk, who are you? Asterisk, not who your friends think you are, not who your parents told you to be, not who social media says you should be. I'm talking about the asterisk, real you asterisk, because too many of us are trying to become something we don't even understand yet. You're chasing an image, not a purpose. You're trying to level up a character you haven't even built yet. That's like trying to upgrade a game you never downloaded. You can't fix what you never took time to create. I need you to stop right here and really think about it. Who are you when nobody's watching? Who are you when the lights go off, when the crowd is gone, when you're alone with your thoughts? Because that version of you, that's the truth, and until you face that truth, you can't grow, you can't build on a lie, you can't elevate pretending to be somebody else. Some of you have been performing for so long you forgot who you are. You've been wearing masks, one for school, one for work, one for home, one for the world, and the problem is, you've gotten so good at acting, you've started believing the performance. Let me tell you something powerful. The best version of you isn't a asterisk new asterisk person. It's the asterisk real asterisk one. It's the one buried underneath all that fear, all that comparison, all that doubt. You don't need to create a new identity. You need to uncover your asterisk true asterisk one. You've got to peel back the layers of insecurity, dig past the pain, and confront the things you've been avoiding. Because the person you were created to be, the one with purpose, passion, and power, that person is already inside you. You just have to stop running from them. Now, here's where education comes in, not school, not grades, but real asterisk education, asterisk self-education. Learning about asterisk you asterisk, understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, your patterns. Study yourself the same way you study your favorite subject. When you fail, don't just get mad, analyze it. When you succeed, don't just celebrate, understand asterisk, why asterisk it worked. That's how you start mastering your identity. Because once you know yourself, nobody can manipulate you. Nobody can confuse you. Nobody can make you doubt what you were born to do. You've got to get intentional about knowing who you are. Spend time with yourself, reflect, write down what you value, what you believe in, what drives you. And here's the truth. Some people won't like the real you. They might prefer the version that's quiet, agreeable, or easy to control. But that's okay, because this journey isn't about pleasing people, it's about discovering purpose, and purpose doesn't fit in everyone's comfort zone. Stop trying to be a copy when you were designed to be an original. You can't be the best version of asterisk you asterisk trying to be a discount version of someone else. You might admire people, you might learn from them, but you can't asterisk be asterisk them. You've got your own fingerprint, your own DNA, your own story. That's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you different. And once you truly know who you are, everything changes. Decisions become easier because you stop chasing what's not meant for you. Pressure becomes lighter because you stop comparing your pace to someone else's. Confidence becomes natural because it's rooted in truth, not ego. See, when you know who you are, you move different. You speak different, you carry yourself different, you don't need validation because you already understand your value. That's the first step to becoming the best version of yourself, asterisk, self-awareness, asterisk. Because if you don't know who you are, the world will decide for you. And trust me, the world doesn't always have your best interest at heart. So take your power back. Own your identity. Stand firm in who you are, because once you do that, nobody, and I mean nobody, can stop you from becoming everything you were created to be. Everybody loves to talk about motivation. We all love that feeling when we're fired up, when we hear something that gives us chills, when we're ready to take on the world. But let me tell you the truth, motivation fades, it's temporary, it's emotional, it's like a spark, it burns bright for a moment, and then it disappears. Discipline, though discipline is the fire that keeps burning when the excitement is gone. Discipline is what separates those who wish from those who win . Because the best version of you doesn't show up only when it feels good, it shows up especially when it doesn't. There are days you're going to wake up tired. Days you won't want to go to class, won't want to study, won't want to train, won't want to work. Those are the days that decide your future, not the days when everything feels perfect, but the days when your body says no and your purpose says yes. See, anybody can move when they feel motivated, but discipline means moving when you don't. It's getting up at 5 a.m. Even though your bed feels warm, it's showing up to practice when nobody's watching. It's studying that extra hour when your friends are out. It's doing the right thing, not the easy thing. You've got to understand, discipline is a muscle. You build it by doing small things with consistency. Start by keeping your word to yourself. If you say you're going to wake up early, do it. If you say you're going to read every night, do it. Every time you follow through, you strengthen that muscle. Every time you break your own word, you weaken it. The reason some of us don't trust ourselves anymore is because we've lied to ourselves too many times. We say we'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. Discipline is about making today count, no matter how you feel. And I need you to understand this: discipline and education go hand in hand. You can't master anything without it. Whether it's school, business, or your craft, discipline is the foundation of mastery. The best athletes, the best leaders, the best minds, they don't rely on being inspired every day. They rely on habits. They build routines that don't ask for permission from their emotions. They don't need to feel like doing it because they've trained their mind to do it regardless. That's the secret. The best version of you will not come from feeling good. It will come from doing good over and over again. And I'm not saying it's easy. It's not supposed to be. Growth never is. You're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to want to quit. But when you feel that pressure, that's when you've got to remind yourself why you started. Motivation gives you a reason to start, but discipline keeps you in the game long enough to finish. Motivation makes you excited for the dream. Discipline makes you worthy of it. You've got to stop waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect moment, the perfect energy. That's an illusion. Successful people don't wait for perfect. They create consistency. They understand that progress doesn't come from bursts of effort. It comes from daily commitment. One step, one choice, one action at a time. So when you don't feel like it, do it anyway. When your mind says not today, answer back, especially today. Because every time you push through resistance, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses. You're teaching your mind that you are in control. Not your feelings, not your fatigue, not your fear. That's what separates average from exceptional. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to be. It's the invisible work that creates visible results. It's the grind nobody claps for, but everybody notices later. It's not glamorous, but it's what greatness is built on. So stop chasing the feeling and start committing to the process. Because when motivation runs out, and it will, discipline is what will carry you to the finish line. Let me tell you something real. Your environment matters. The people around you, the energy you allow into your space, the voices you listen to daily. They're shaping who you're becoming, whether you realize it or not. You can't expect to become great if you're surrounded by average thinking. You can't expect to rise if everybody around you is comfortable staying low. Your circle is like soil. Either it helps you grow or it keeps you buried. Some of you are struggling not because you lack potential, but because you're planted in the wrong environment. You've got big dreams but small-minded people around you. You're trying to fly, but you keep hanging around people who are afraid to leave the ground. Listen, you can't soar with eagles if you keep walking with pigeons. If you're the smartest, most driven, most disciplined person in your group, that's not a flex, that's a warning. Because if you're not being challenged, you're not being stretched. And if you're not being stretched, you're not growing. You need people in your life who push you, not pacify you. People who tell you the truth even when it stings. People who hold you accountable, not those who make excuses for you. The best version of you can't grow in comfort, it grows in challenge. And sometimes that means outgrowing certain people. It doesn't mean you're better than them. It means you're choosing your purpose over your past. It means you're choosing your future over familiarity. See, your circle sets your standard. If your friends are okay with mediocrity, that becomes your normal. If your circle makes excuses, you'll start to believe excuses are valid. But if your circle hustles, studies, learns, and moves with intention, that becomes your default mode. That's why education isn't just about what you learn from books. It's about what you learn from people. You learn their habits, their attitudes, their energy, and that's contagious. I'm telling you, association brings assimilation. You start talking like them, thinking like them, living like them. That's why you've got to choose wisely who gets access to your space. Protect your energy like it's currency, because it is. Don't let people drain your ambition because they've given up on theirs. Don't let negativity become normal because everyone around you is complaining. If you want to be the best version of yourself, you've got to surround yourself with people who remind you of your standards, not your struggles. And hear me on this, sometimes the hardest part of growth is separation. You'll have to walk away from certain groups, maybe even certain friendships, because they no longer align with where you're going. It's not about judging them, it's about protecting your destiny. Growth requires isolation sometimes. It's in that space that you evolve, that you learn, that you reset. You might be misunderstood, you might be lonely for a while, but it's temporary. Because once you grow, you'll attract the right people who match your new level. Find people who talk about ideas, not gossip. People who celebrate your wins but also call you out when you slack. People who make you think bigger, act sharper, move smarter. Surround yourself with learners, not complainers, dreamers, not doubters, builders, not blamers, because the truth is, your life will always rise or fall to the level of the company you keep. The best version of you cannot exist in a toxic environment. It can't breathe in negativity. It can't thrive in comfort zones. It needs challenge. It needs inspiration. It needs people who bring out the greatness within you. So take a good look at your circle and ask yourself one question. Are they feeding your fire or putting it out? Because if they're not helping you grow, they're holding you back. And you can't become your best staying connected to what's keeping you average. Failure, everybody's afraid of it, but the truth is, it's one of your greatest teachers. Somewhere along the way, we were taught that failure means we're not good enough, not smart enough, not ready. But that's a lie. Failure doesn't define you. It refines you. Every mistake, every setback, every disappointment is shaping you into the person you're supposed to become. You can't reach the best version of yourself if you're too scared to fall trying, because greatness doesn't come from perfection, it comes from perseverance. See, people love success stories, but what they don't talk about enough are the failure chapters that built those stories. Every champion you admire has been knocked down more times than you can count. They've failed exams, lost opportunities, been told no. So many times it would have broken most people. But the difference, they failed forward. They didn't let failure stop them. They used it to push harder, learn faster, grow stronger. You've got to stop treating failure like a dead end and start seeing it as a detour. When something doesn't go your way, it's not the universe rejecting you. It's redirecting you. It's showing you what needs to change, what needs to improve, what you need to learn. That's education in its purest form, not just in books or classrooms, but in asterisk life. Asterisk, every test, every fall, every closed door is teaching you something if you're humble enough to learn. Here's the problem: most people quit too early. They fail once and decide it's not meant to be. But success isn't about getting it right the first time. It's about refusing to give up until you do. The best version of you isn't built in the moments of winning. It's built in the moments of recovery. When you fall, that's where your character gets tested. When you lose, that's when your mindset gets developed. When things break, that's when resilience gets formed. Think about it: every time you fail, you learn something about yourself. You learn how you handle pressure. You learn what you need to improve. You learn who's really in your corner. Failure exposes weakness, but not to embarrass you, to help you fix it. It reveals your blind spots so you can strengthen them. That's why people who run from failure never grow. They stay comfortable, safe, average, but those who face it head on, they become unstoppable. You've got to stop taking failure personally. It doesn't mean you're not talented. It doesn't mean you're not capable. It means you're asterisk trying. Asterisk, the only people who never fail are the ones who never try. And that's the biggest failure of all. You learn more from one failed attempt than from 10 easy wins. Because when you fail, you analyze, you adjust, you adapt. You start thinking deeper, planning smarter, moving wiser. That's growth. That's evolution. When things go wrong, don't let your emotions take control. Step back and ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because life will test you over and over until you learn the lesson it's trying to teach. You can't graduate from life's classroom if you keep walking away from the test. Every struggle is training for something greater ahead of you. Every failure is preparation for a victory you haven't reached yet. And don't compare your failure to someone else's success. Everyone's timeline is different. Some people hit it early, others bloom later. But what matters is you asterisk keep going. Asterisk, you stay committed to the process. Because the only way you truly fail is if you quit. Everything else is just a lesson disguised as a setback. So don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid to stop learning. Be afraid to stop trying. Because every failure you embrace brings you one step closer to mastery, one step closer to purpose, one step closer to becoming the person you were created to be. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but too many people walk around with it on safety mode. You say you want to be the best version of yourself, but you're feeding your body more than your brain. You're entertaining yourself more than you're educating yourself. You're scrolling, watching, talking, but not asterisk learning. Asterisk, and I'm telling you, you can't grow beyond the limits of your mind. If you want to elevate your life, you've got to elevate your thinking. Because the best version of you doesn't start in the gym. It doesn't start at your job. It starts in your asterisk mind. Asterisk, you've got to start treating your mind like it's $1 million business. Every day, you make investments in it. What you read, what you watch, who you listen to, what you think about. Those are deposits. The problem is, some of you are overdrawing from your mental account. You're feeding your mind junk, negativity, gossip, and drama, and then wondering why you're mentally broke. You've got to protect your thoughts the way you protect your money, because your thoughts determine your future. What you allow in your mind will eventually show up in your life. Learning isn't something you do just to pass a test. It's something you do to build a life. Every book you read, every conversation with someone smarter than you, every new skill you develop, that's education. That's you expanding your capacity. You don't stop learning when school ends. That's actually when real learning begins. Life is the biggest classroom you'll ever step into, and the people who win in life aren't always the most talented. They're the most asterisk, educated asterisk in their craft, their mindset, their habits. You've got to fall in love with growing. Every day ask yourself, what did I learn today that made me better than yesterday? Because if you're not growing, you're repeating. The world is evolving every single day, and if you're not learning, you're getting left behind. You can't lead in the future with yesterday's mindset. You can't create new results with old thinking. You've got to challenge your own beliefs, question your assumptions, and upgrade your understanding. That's how transformation happens. The best people in any field, athletes, entrepreneurs, teachers, leaders, they're students first. They read, they study, they seek wisdom, they're humble enough to know there's always more to learn. And that's what keeps them sharp. See, ignorance is expensive. It'll cost you opportunities. It'll cost you peace. It'll cost you time, but knowledge pays dividends forever. And I know some of you might be thinking, I don't like studying. That's because you've only been taught to study what doesn't excite you. But when you start learning about things connected to your dreams, when you read about success, growth, communication, leadership, wealth, health, you start realizing learning isn't boring, it's empowering. Education is the key that unlocks doors people told you were closed. Start surrounding yourself with people who make you think differently. Listen to podcasts that stretch your perspective, read books that challenge your comfort zone, ask questions. Take notes, reflect. Don't just go through life, grow through it. Every experience, every mistake, every success, analyze it. Ask, what can I learn from this? Because lessons are everywhere if you're willing to pay attention. And here's what separates the greats from the average. They don't just collect information, they apply it. You can read every book, take every course, but if you don't act on it, it means nothing. Education without application is just potential sitting idle. The best version of you doesn't just know more. It does more because of what it knows. So stop wasting your mind on distractions. Stop letting comfort keep you uneducated. Invest in your growth. Invest in your learning. Invest in you. Because your mind is the engine that drives your destiny, and when you train it right, there's absolutely no limit to how far you can go. Everybody wants results, but very few want consistency. We love the idea of success, the image of greatness, but the truth is, it's not built in one big moment, it's built in 1,000 small ones. The best version of you isn't created overnight. It's created day by day, choice by choice, habit by habit. Consistency is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. You can have all the talent, all the potential, all the ambition in the world, but if you can't stay consistent, none of it matters. I know some of you are working hard, but the problem is, you're not working long enough. You go all in for a week, then you disappear for a month. You start strong, then stop when it gets boring. You get fired up after a speech, a video, a post. But when that feeling fades, so does your effort. Listen, you can't build something permanent with temporary energy. You can't build a legacy with on and off effort. Consistency isn't glamorous, but it's powerful. It's the quiet grind nobody sees, the repetition nobody claps for, the discipline that doesn't get likes, but it's what creates transformation. Think about it. A drop of water can carve through stone not because of force, but because of consistency. That same principle applies to your life. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You just need to keep showing up. Miss a day, get back up. Fail a test, study harder, lose motivation, keep your commitment. The best version of you doesn't depend on how many times you fall. It depends on how many times you get back up and keep going. And let me tell you, consistency isn't just about action. It's about mindset. It's making a decision that you're not going to quit every time it gets uncomfortable. It's choosing progress over perfection. Some of you stop because it doesn't look like it's working fast enough. You've been putting in effort for a few weeks, and you're mad you don't have results yet. But success doesn't happen on your timeline. It happens when you've earned it. The process takes time, and consistency is the price you pay for growth. You can't microwave greatness. You've got to slow cook it. You've got to wake up every day and put in work even when it doesn't look like anything's changing. That's how compound growth works. Tiny gains over time turn into massive breakthroughs later. You can't see the roots growing underground, but one day the tree breaks through the soil. That's what consistency does. It builds what people can't see before it shows what they can. And I need you to understand consistency builds confidence. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you build trust with yourself. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you prove to yourself that you're reliable. That's where real confidence comes from, not from compliments, but from consistency. You can't talk your way into belief. You've got to build it through repetition. Education, discipline, success, everything we've talked about. It all comes down to this: consistency. You can't learn deeply if you don't study daily. You can't master your craft if you only practice when you feel inspired. You can't build a new mindset if you keep slipping back into old habits. Progress demands consistency. You don't have to be the fastest, smartest, or strongest. You just have to keep going when others stop. And yeah, it gets tiring. There'll be days you don't see results, days you question if it's worth it, days when you feel like quitting. But that's when consistency matters most, because that's when your future is being decided. Every rep, every late night, every extra effort, it's all stacking up. The world may not see it yet, but your consistency is writing a story that your results will one day tell. So stop waiting for the right time, stop waiting for motivation, stop waiting for approval, just be consistent. Be relentless, be faithful to the process, because when you stay consistent long enough, success doesn't just become possible, it becomes inevitable.